Good day, students. Today we'll be looking at the concept of opposition, right? In our first lesson we'll be talking about the close opposition, right? How to use the opposition to our advantage. And then later on we're going to go on to the diagonal opposition and the distant opposition. Now, opposition pretty much speaks to a position where there is an odd number of squares between the king. And we know that there are many odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7. Those are odd numbers. But and 11 and they go on. But of course, we only have 8 squares on the board. So the maximum amount of odd numbers you're going to have.
7.
Well, you're not going to 7 is not going to be possible because there are only 8 numbers squared. So it's 5. So the 3 odd numbers that we have in opposition in chess is 1, 3 and 5. But another easy way of finding the opposition, because see, I know many masters say use the odd numbers to tell you if you have opposition, but I find that very difficult. So what I normally do to find the opposition, I normally say I find the opposition by stepping on the same color square in line with the king. Once I'm on the same color square in line with the king, I'm on the opposition. For example, look at this position right here. The white king is on a white square and the black king is on a white square. Once I step in line with the king on the same line, it automatically creates an opposition. Let's say the king was here. Again, if this was the position and I played here, then again, I'm on the same color square in front of the king. And let's count how many squares are in between. 1, 2, 3. So we still satisfy opposition. Remember, there's an odd number of squares between the king. Are you following that, class? And let's say the king was right here, and I played here instead. Again, the kings would be on the same color square. And again, let's count how many squares are between the king. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still have the opposition. Now, when the king is go back. One square away from the other king, we call that a close opposition. What do we call that?
Close opposition.
And as we learned in the video with key squares, the opposition keep the king at bay. So he said to him, you can't come close. He moves, opposition. He moves, opposition. He moves, opposition. And of course, you see that opposition can annoy him. Let's see how we can use an opposition to draw a game. Let's say, all right, we have a position like this. Now, in this position, it looks like it's all over for white. Black is going to munch off white pawn. And it looks like it's going to promote. But here the opposition saves the game. Let's look at the position here. King goes to the pawn. Kings come closer, opposition. King captures the pawn. And here white, opposition. Now again, the opposition prevents him from making advance. And right now we're going to annoy him on the side of the board. He moves down. What do I do here? Opposition. He comes down. What do I do here? Opposition. He goes up. What do I do here? And I can do this all day, right? Even if he plays pawn push, again, I can lock him onto the edge of the board by playing king down. And right now, I can just prevent him from leaving the edge of the board. And of course, if he pawn pushes, the game is a draw, stalemate. So we see in this position here that the opposition helped us to draw the game here. Now let's look at the distant opposition. Here, the kings are far away from each other, but white can take the distant opposition by stepping on the same color square in the same line. Where would I go to take the distant opposition here? Yes.
E2.
E2, excellent. So here, white gets the opposition. Same color square in the same line. Now white, black plays here. Where can I go to get the distant opposition here?
F3.
Huh?
F3.
F3. Brilliant. And now he steps up. Where can I get a close opposition? E4. Brilliant. Good. So you see, we have landed right back into the close opposition. There's another type of opposition called the diagonal opposition. Let's say he steps here. I could still get an opposition again by stepping on the same color square in the same line. But for it to be an opposition, remember, it must be an odd number of squares. So now 1 is between, so we are still fine. Where can I get the diagonal opposition? Diagonal opposition. G5. Excellent. Where could I get the diagonal opposition here?
H5.
Good. Where could I get the close opposition here?
G5.
Good. Where can I get the diagonal opposition here?
H6.
Diagonal opposition. Close opposition? F7. Good. And see, once I have the opposition, I can maintain the opposition to win. Now, let's say I was in a drawn position. I could use the distant opposition to save the game. Watch here now. Anybody find this? I'll know that you're one step closer to becoming a master. Let's see. Look at this position. In this position here, it is black to move. Black only has one way to save the game here. If he can find the correct move in this position, who could find the move here for black to save the game? Yes. What? All right. Anybody else? Yes.
Sir, black king G8.
G8. You can't reach a G8.
D8.
D8. Excellent. Black king to D8 scores the distant opposition. Remember I told you, boys and girls, that the only way for black to try to save the game if he's losing is to get the opposition to keep him away from the key squares. Watch here now. Let's say he plays here. What would be my next move here? C8. Brilliant. Now it looks like I'm not doing anything, but I am in fact keeping up the king using the distant opposition. Let's see what happens if the king tries to approach. What does black do in this position now? Opposition where? D7. Close opposition. I'm sure somebody said D8. But D8, would D8 be the same color? If I had gone to D8 here, would that be the same color as the one that No. So that would not be correct. I would step on the same color in front. Close opposition. And what the king says is this. There is no way you are going to get to these key squares on the pawn. That's the key square. And my king is stopping you from getting to those key squares. You're not touching those key squares there. So he comes over here. Look. How can I stop him from coming to the key squares here?
E7.
Excellent. E7 says you are not touching any of these key squares here. He plays over. These become the key square again. How can I stop him from getting to the key squares here? F7. Excellent. Opposition. So again, the opposition is an excellent tool to either get the opposition to get the key square or prevent the opponent from getting to the key square. Alright? That brings us to the end of our class session on opposition. We looked at the different types of opposition. Who can remind me of different types of opposition again? We have close opposition and we have what? Diagonal opposition and distant opposition, right? How do we know it's an opposition? What's a shortcut we are finding the opposition?
If they're in the same color and they're in the same line.
On the same line, in the same color, and there must always be an odd number of squares between the king. That brings us to the end of this session. Let's go now to practice. This is National Master Michael Solomon, and I'm signing out.